$12,000 principal and $2,600 of interest during the month. Our micro loan for the month of February received $59,000 of principal and a little over $10,000 of interest for the month of February. On a year-to-date basis, just a little bit of a recap, $179,000 of loans have gone out. We received $122,000 of interest over these 2 months, and $40,000 or $23,000 of interest. So all good there. We have adjusted our allowance based on our kind of first full year of what we thought. Initially we were a 12 to 15% allowance adjustment. We have based on historical kind of reduced that to about more of a 7% overall loan portfolio. I think a lot of us have thought that the portfolio is performing better than expected. So, and again, we're going to continue to look at that on a month-over-month and a quarterly basis and adjust that. But overall, very pleasantly surprised in terms of our reserve or bank debts on that micro loan portfolio. All other balances are in line with our budget and expectations in terms of revenue and expenses. Again, first 2 months in are a little bit hard to really figure out where we are. There's a lot of timing differences, but I think you can see there our revenue is trailing a little bit behind budget, but mainly just because of some timing differences in the micro loan program. It is the big differences there. Overall expenses are pretty much on track. Timing will kind of work those differences out, but good start to the first 2 months. And a good, healthy state in our financial position to continue to support programs this year, for sure.
Does anyone have any questions? Thanks, Greg. Up next, I've got the audit committee report. The audit committee met on March 11th to review the 2020-25 draft statements, audit and single audit, and recommends full board adopt the audit as presented pending final bond report. Up next, we're going to have John Rinkowitz present the audit report.
Pretty good. So yeah, as mentioned, we met with the Finance Committee last week and we went through the financial statements and talked about the report. As mentioned, it's in the draft state right now because we're waiting for some bond information. It's just a required disclosure. Won't change any of the numbers that are in the report, and this is kind of consistent with last year. It just takes a little while for that information to come in, and so once we have it, we'll be able to finalize the report. But it was a clean audit opinion, no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies identified. He had a single audit as well because of the federal money from the microloan program, which is the economic recovery money from the county. And that's a clean opinion as well, a clean report on that. Regarding the financial statements, the IDC had a good year last year, really driven by your bond projects. You had about $1.9 million worth of bond fees from bond projects last year that really increase the revenues, and at the same time, again, you've got the grant funds that were supporting the microloan program, so you were able to issue $2.1 million worth of loans, and that's being covered by the grant funds that you received. So you increased your net position about $3.5 million. So you had a good year again. Ended up very well financially. Just mentioning that about 40% of your fund balance, your net position, is currently being used as part of the microloan program. So when you look at that number, just keep that in mind. So you don't have all of that money available for use, but about 60% of it is available. Again, so you had a good year, clean audit, and everything went very well, and that's what I have to report. Any questions on statements or anything?
So on the micro loan fund, when you guys looked at that, what's your view on the reserve levels that we're keeping.
Yep, and so we asked about that because, I think previously, and it's hard because it's a relatively new program to kind of base on historical information, so, the estimate's been updated a little bit to look more directly at what is the actual financial status of some of the loans that are out there, and, are they paying on time and that, and so it's looking at more of what we would expect to see in those types of estimates. So it's, we did look at it.
Also difficult because you don't really have a benchmark.
Exactly, right. It's difficult to make that estimate, but I think it's including more of the parameters and things, inputs that we would expect to see.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, John.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we just need a motion to accept the 2025 audit pending the final bond report. An motion?
I'll move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstain? All right. Up next, Jeff's gonna give a financial committee report.
We met March 11th to review different policies as well as the assets and investments and fee schedule. Based on the meeting and the reviews, the committee is recommending changes to the fee schedule to increase the attorney fees from $2,500 to $3,000 on SBA and RFL loans. The committee also decided to combine the internal controls policies for the Authority Budget Office and the internal controls policy for the SBA, as the ABO policy is incorporated into the SBA policy. The committee also recommends updating the investment policy to remove language that relates to our investment in LaserMax and various other investments. And then we also reviewed the report on the status of the microloans, which Greg kind of already just talked about. So I do need a motion to readopt the fee schedule with the changes to the SBA and the revolving loan fund attorney fees from $2,500 to $3,000.
So we charge per loan, is that what it is?
Yes.
I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. All right, Zach's up next with a governance committee report.
Yeah, we met last Wednesday. We have a couple things to talk about. So the measurements report, all we wanted to do was revise the annual measurement report to better align with the other data points that are refined on the quarterly dashboard and the annual meeting. So basically, we're just tweak the report to make it look like we normally see it. We also reviewed all of the policies and procedures. There's no changes except for the internal control policy and the internal control procedures from the SBA. They're very similar. We're going to merge those. And then the investment policy. Barry, do you want to talk about those two?
Sure. So for the internal controls policy, we had two separate policies. One that would be sort of in compliance with the ABO requirements of the not-for-profit corporation law that MCIDC had to follow, and then one more specific for the SBA. In doing our annual review of all the policies, there was just a ton of overlap, and it made more sense just to combine them. The SBA version of the policy is going to be the one going forward, because that one was more comprehensive than the not-for-profit requirements. So we'll use that going forward. On the investment policy, historically, we had our traditional things that MCIDC could invest in, like treasuries and other sort of safe governmental investments, and then there was an additional line item for sort of more alternative investments like LaserMax and a couple other investments that are no longer applicable. So we're just deleting that and updating the policy so that that's not a permitted investment anymore.
So we deleted it. Why?
Because the LaserMax is no longer in business.
Oh,
And they have written
Yeah,
off their
the
investment
policy
history.
specifically said LaserMax in the policy.
Yeah.
Not investments like LaserMax, it said LaserMax.
little
So
naughty.
we're not permitted, not that we should be doing this, but we're not permitted to potentially invest in other things that would be like an alternative investment, like.
Correct. Under the not-for-profit corporation law, and the ABO requirements, we have limited it to sort of more traditional, governmental type investments, treasuries, things of that nature. If there was an opportunity, you know, we would look at it more as in like making loans or things that are more clearly within our footprint. Obviously, if there is an opportunity, we can look at it, bring it to the board. Doesn't necessarily fit, we don't need it in the investment policy to be able to do it. If it's in the investment policy, though, it can be done, you know, without bringing it to the board, and we don't think that's an appropriate thing to do.
Okay, that's fair.
Alright, so I don't think we have any motions for this specifically, right, Robin? We're just gonna go through the next group of them.
Yeah, you can just go down.
Okay. So we just have a bunch of things we need to adopt or reapprove. So, up first is a motion to re-adopt the bylaws with no changes.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Up next is, review and reapprove, committee charters. Motion to re-adopt the audit, finance, governance, and committee charters. And we also, we do these together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also have a motion to add Christopher Rush to the finance committee.
I'll move it.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, up next is a motion to adopt the mission statement and revised performance measurement report. Motion,
I'll move it.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, next is a motion to re-adopt the policies with one change to the investment policy as noted in the combined internal controls policy. One motion for all minutes, so we're gonna list, do we have to do anything else besides that, Robin?
And yeah, and then it's just one motion for everything, and then the minutes will list out.
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Or sorry. I need someone to move it first,
Almost.
second, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
Alright,
next board evaluation.
the next thing, we're passing it out now. So thank you to everyone that, figured out onboard. Sorry.
If you didn't and you'd like to, I'm here available for tutorials after the meeting.
Yeah, so we tried to, you know, those forms that everyone has to fill out on an annual basis, we tried to do it in onboard. I hope it was helpful for everyone. Better than hard copy and trying to get the hard copy back to us. Okay, all right, so what you're looking at right now is the summary of the evaluations that we have to date, which we have 11, so there's only 2 missing, so this is good. So yeah, it's just the committees, the board takes a look at it, feel free to have a discussion, and then this form actually gets sent to the authority budget office. We don't have any comments from a staff perspective, but.
These are the same questions that are asked of all members of all public authorities statewide as part of the Paris process every year. So the Comida board answers the same questions, the Land Bank Corporation answers the same questions. So these are prescribed by the authority's budget office.
Awesome. Yep. Alright, up next is Paris report update.
This will be very quick. The report should be completed on time this year, pending some bond information that we're waiting on. And due to some efficiency modifications that were instituted last year into this year, staff should have a much smoother experience with Paris this year, I think, relative to past years. But we'll continue to keep you all updated. But April 1 deadline, right? Yeah.
Awesome. Alright, up next, we need to go into executive session, so I need a motion to enter. Second? All in favor? Alright, so we have a motion to approve, need a motion to approve a $402,500 SBA 504 commercial mortgage for the purchase, purpose of purchasing a building in the town of Henrietta and submit to the SBA. Can I get a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Jeff's got to abstain, anyone else? Alright. I think that's it. Just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.